Hi everyone, Steeb here. I want to do something a little bit different today. We're going to be looking at a gloving battle between Steeb and Danny Phantom. This battle is being hosted on Pit Battles, a Facebook group dedicated to online gloving battles. If you are interested in the battle aspect of gloving culture, definitely join the group. Links in the description. If you're interested in learning more about gloving in general, you can check out Glover's Lounge on Facebook, Worldwide Flow Oasis on Discord, and Gloving Academy on Discord. Also, I recently became an affiliate for glowleds.com. It's the best place for whites, batteries, casings, and all other gloving accessories. If you use my code STEAMBOY, you'll get 10% off your entire order. I got a small commission from each sale, and all of the money made from this code goes right back into the channel. So this battle is for a ranked spot. Danny Phantom currently holds the 5th rank for the season, and Steeb is trying to climb from rank 10 to 5. I am a judge along with 2 others, and each judge will give 1 point to who they think the winner is, and best 2 out of 3 points will win the match. This video will only cover my ruling, and if you want to see who won the actual battle, you will have to check the original post in Pit Battles. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to talk about both videos separately, then give my final ruling as I compare their overall shows. You can find both of the original videos in the description. Overall, Steeb had a really strong start to his show. His natural sense of pacing really helps him here as he builds his show. As the musicality gets more complicated with the added bass, samples, and beats, for the most part, he hits them very well. I especially like the way he stacks here, hitting the musicality well. However, this break right before the drop could have used a bit more speed control to give us that perfect pause before the song really hits. Perhaps he was trying to take the lyrics into account, but I still feel it would have helped to dial it down a tad. I think he also hits the drop very well. Steeb's tech is clean and the movements are direct yet smooth, making each movement really count. However, I do feel that after the drop, his show starts to slow down for me. I think a part of it is that he is starting to do a lot more of these hybrid concepts that utilize both tutting angles for macro forms and tech positions for micro detail. I think he's still trying to get comfortable with these concepts overall, but I think they hurt the overall execution within the show. I do like this one segment here where he starts whipping when the clap samples come back into the song, and it shows a really good sense of showmanship as well as musicality. On his ending, I think the pacing is well done, but the overall concepts actually utilized are a bit too complex. With his finger stack here, I feel they give the viewer a little bit of a visual tease to something bigger to come, only to end in this position that I think is visually too busy to work as an ending movement. One more thing to add is that I noticed a lot of Steeb's show being slightly off-centered, favoring his left ever so slightly. I have a theory that this is because he's probably using the front screen of his GoPro as a digital mirror to help him with his framing. I've noticed that I make this mistake as well, especially when I'm trying to concentrate on throwing my show. Sometimes I will throw my show to the screen rather than to the actual lens, and it's why I try to use my front screen just for framing before the show starts, and then I'll turn it off when I'm actually recording. Danny Phantom's show, I think, is in many ways the reverse of Steeb's. It has some flaws at the start, but the show's overall quality really picks up as the show goes on. I think the biggest problem with the opening is the pacing. Musicality wise, I think it works perfectly fine, but I think the pacing is a bit fast and has a bit too much energy, especially considering how the song progresses. I do think he makes a good course correction right before the break beats really hit, as the intro starts to build. And once those break beats actually hit, that's when the show really starts popping off, and I like that he decided to do tech instead of the traditionally accepted whips, since drum and bass can be a very technical genre and using tech shows off the break beats really well. I also like how the show progresses overall, and I especially love the ending as he goes less complex, and in the final seconds of the show, his movements become very slow, deliberate, and use only 2 lights for that finale. It feels like a really nice descent, like he's taking away elements smoothly until he gives us that final empty canvas. I will say that the set he uses is very blink heavy, and while he used them well for the most part, I feel that they were a detriment during his whips and flails. One thing from a filming standpoint is I think he could have made the video a little brighter. It wasn't a big deal in my final ruling, but I think it would help his videos overall in the future. Overall, I'm going to have to give this one to Danny Phantom. I think where my ruling came in was how each show progressed and the overall cohesion to the shows. Steeb had a stronger start for sure, but I feel that as his show got more complicated, the show also began to show more flaws. Danny, on the other hand, had a bit of a stumble at the start, but as time went on, it truly showed its strengths. In addition, as I was judging the weaker elements of both shows, I felt that Danny was able to compensate for his weaknesses better than Steeb's. As always, it's hard to judge battles like this. I'm friends with both of these people, and I see merit in both of their shows, and I admire both people and the choices and sacrifices they made while recording. Still, as a judge, especially for a ranked match, I have to pick one winner, and in this case, I have to give it to Danny Phantom. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you at the next one.